Thanks all for coming to this latest session of LocalGov Drupal Week. Thanks everyone for joining us. This session is called, what's it called?
Introducing
it's our
local
late. Oh, go for it. Yeah. What's it called?
Introducing LocalGov Drupal's latest feature, HTML publications. There we go.
Thanks, Justine.
That's all right.
And I will be chipping off in a second. I'm just here to say hello and a few words. But the session will be led by Justine, who has just spoken, by Ryan Falcon-Hay of Hammersmith and Fulham Council, who's a massive supporter of ours. So thank you to you and your colleagues, and also to Rupert Jabelman. How do you pronounce your name, Rupert? Jabelman. Justine and Rupert are from one of our supporting agencies called Chicken. You can make chicken faces and so on. So thank you for helping and sort of suggesting this session, and also for running it. I'll hand it over to you in a second. And then just a word from our sponsor, which is Home Connections. Thank you so much if you're here for sponsoring this session. Home Connections is owned and led by local authorities and housing associations, a social purpose company supporting a fairer housing sector. Thank you so much for your support. And also to all the councils and suppliers who subscribe to the co-op, and also to Netcall. Your support, your financial help makes a massive difference, and it didn't enable this project, but it's enabled lots of others. So thank you for that. I'll hand over to Justine, Ryan and Rupert. Enjoy the session.
Thank you so much, Will. I'm going to share my screen and my slideshow. Here we go. And yes, as we said, this is introducing LocalGov Drupal's latest feature, HTML publications. Will introduced us all wonderfully, so we'll just crack on with the story of HTML publications. I think we're all pretty aware that the problem that we're trying to solve with this new feature is that PDFs are pretty inaccessible. They're hard to find. There's a lot wrong with them, and we're being encouraged in every way to not really use PDFs. So we kind of needed a tool that kind of helps the services to not want to make PDFs. This is what we've got so far. Publications is still in alpha phase, so please bear with us. There's still a bit more that can be done to contribute. Talking of contribution, oh, hello, cheeky. The specification came together pretty quickly because the problem's pretty well defined. The selection of wireframes were made from research from lots of different councils, Croydon, Oxfordshire, Redcar, Cleveland and Essex. Lots of suppliers have been involved, kind of getting all of that stage done pretty quickly. Proof of concept was even made with Agile Collective, but as my yellow slide just upset everyone, microsites came along and it kind of pushed publications a little bit further down the backlog, and it kind of laid stagnant for a little while, which was a bit upsetting, especially for Ryan, who really badly wanted this and was begging it for a long time. So Super Ryan found us some money, and we managed to get it done. So a working group got created, and Ryan led that working group. So it was us at Chicken, Agile Collective, Finn from Open Code, Michael from Newcastle's come along to every meeting and been valuable with telling us that things are still broken or that he wants more things. So it's been really great having a proper working group getting this done. And what we've got in this is 2 content types in this one module that you can enable. There's a publications cover page, which has a banner, a place for attaching other files and linking to the publication itself, and also the publication pages, which has got features such as being able to put in footnotes. You can have single page, really long HTML publication with an in-page menu that will jump to where it needs to go, or it can be a large book structure. And for those who know Drupal, pretty much similar to book. There's a lot like book. And then there's numbered text as well, and that's already in LocalGov Drupal layout paragraphs module. So it is a dependent, and I think there's a bug, but we're going to fix it. Or it is fixed already. Yeah, so I think Ryan is now going to give us a wonderful demo of everything that's going on. So I will hand over to Ryan and show you where we are now.
Okay, yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Falconhay from Hammersmith and Fulham. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. Okay. So, yep. So for this demo, I've used the content draft from our corporate plan, which will be launching hopefully in December, and should be our first publication. And this came about through the insistence of our head of comms, surprisingly, and has since been supported by our senior leadership team. So I've created two versions of the corporate plan so you can see what a single page publication looks like, as well as a multi-page one. But first, I will show you the cover page or the publications landing page. So if you're familiar with GovUK, you may recognize this pattern as it is similar to the GovUK publications landing page as well. And this was very much intentional as we felt that it met the user needs that we identified. So as Justine said, from this page, you can link to multiple documents, whether it's like actual, I was going to say physical PDFs, but actual PDFs or other HTML pages. And yeah, you may want to do this because you've got an easy read version of the document, or you've got separate appendices that accompany the main publication as well. And as you can see that each document type will be displayed with a thumbnail as well, again, which we've borrowed from GovUK. And just to say as well, because Justine didn't mention it earlier, even though, yes, you do have the optional banner as well, which I'm not sure if we're going to use for the corporate plan just yet, but the page itself is also optional. And so it does mean that it doesn't need to form part of the overall publication as well. So yeah, that's the landing page. So the first page, the first one I'm going to show you, sorry, is just trying to find out which one it is. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's the single page publication. So there is only one template to do a multi-page or a single page publication. Like we did really, well, yeah, keep it like really simple for people. And from the outset, we knew we were always going to do the multi-page format, but it was during the scoping sessions that it became clear that we would also need to do the single page version, as some councils wanted to have the option to do either or. And as Justine said, this meant that we would need to have an in-page navigation menu. So the way that it works is that the table of contents, if you will, picks up all of the H2 headings on the page to produce on this page menu that you can see on the left-hand side. And we've also done it so that each of them are anchor links as well that can be shared around with other people. And even though it's not in place on the alpha just yet, this menu will be sticky as well. So that just means that when you're on desktop, it will always be in view as you scroll down. And if you can see the scroll bar on the right-hand side, yeah, it is pretty much like a GovUK publication in that it is really, really long. So again, I think we may put some guidance in place to help councils decide when to use a single page or a multi-page publication. And I think definitely in this instance, we will be going with the multi-page one. As you can see, I'm still scrolling down the page. So if I just switch over to the multi-page version, So you can see, again, we've got a navigation menu down the left-hand side, but you can see the difference this time is that it says contents rather than on this page. And again, that's just to help users know the difference, and yeah, to help them see that when they're one is obviously for a single page and the other one is for a multi-page. In terms of content editors putting together a multi-page publication, they will have the option to have the in-page menu show below the contents menu, and in that instance, both will be sticky as well. So the great thing about the multi-page publication is that you can, from these high-level pages, you can have child pages as well, meaning you can create sections within a multi-page. So if I switch over to this one, you can see here that I'm on the Building Shared Prosperity page, and below this page, there are 4 child pages, which also appear in the menu as well. And the great thing about this is that obviously, yeah, it gives us the opportunity to tackle the really big documents that we might already have existing as PDFs. And the main one that comes to my mind, because it's the one I really want to have a go at, is the Council Constitution, which for us, I think is between 300 and 400 pages long. So I definitely, yeah, want to have a go at trying to put that into a publication. But if I just go to a different page, sorry, no, not in this one. I think it's in this version. Alba at a glance. Okay, nope. You go back to Building Shared Prosperity. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can see that both menus appear, but as I said, on this page will be optional as well. So when you've built your multi-page publication, obviously you may need to switch the order around of some of the pages, and this is quite easy to do. So if you go into the edit section, go to structure and then publications, you'll see a list of the publications you've already got, if you've made any. And then once you've clicked on edit order and titles, you're then presented with a list of the pages in a draggable format. So I can move about this plan above or borrow at a glance. And it's just, yeah, a really simple way to order the different pages. Click Save Book Pages and you're all done. Oh, sorry. And yeah, in terms of the edit screen for the publication template, just to show you again how similar it is to some of the other content types in LocalGov Drupal. So you do have a separate published and updated date. And these were separate because we knew that some people would want to show if a publication had been updated. And the way this works is that whichever page is the top level page within the publication, the dates that you set on that will filter down to the other pages. So you can see published 14th of December 2023 here. And if you do try to set any of the dates on any of the other pages, it just won't show or overwrite what's already there. Let me just close this so you can see it fully. So again, in terms of the components that Justine was talking about earlier, at the moment, we've got just a normal text WYSIWYG field, we've got numbered text, and we should have, yeah, and we do have image, which is up here. Sorry, couldn't see where it was. In terms of numbered text, that's for your documents which have I guess, numbered paragraphs. So pretty much like anything that tends to come from legal or is a policy document. And the way it works is it's a normal text field. Sorry, I forgot there wasn't one on here. So if I just add one, yeah. So the way it works is that you have a number field, and then within here you can add whatever number it is for the paragraph, and then add your text as well. And then in terms of footnotes, which I will show on this one, it's a button within the WYSIWYG. So at the end of a sentence, if you click on that button, a new display opens, and you can write your footnote text in, and then whatever the footnote number is, and if you click the plus sign, yeah, it then adds it to your content. So if I do this here, if I do random footnote text, put value 1 in and save, you'll see that, yeah, it's added the 1 to the end of that sentence. And if I click on it, the page goes down to the bottom so you can see the footnote. And just like guides, and I think step by step as well, obviously, yeah, in a multi-page format, the previous and next links will appear automatically as well. So again, just familiar patterns for people with the other LocalGov Drupal content types. I think I will stop sharing and hand back to Justine in the presentation.
Thank you. I've got 2 quick slides, and then there's another demo about what's coming next. So let's share my screen again. Goes fast enough. There we go. So this is a bit of a closer view of what footnotes look like. You can see all the numbered paragraphs, and then footnotes appear on the side. There are some questions about footnotes. It's a plugin for CK Editor, and we are hoping to be able to do a little bit more to that, more coming soon. So what do we want to do next? I've seen some questions in the chat talking about, do we have to manually import all of our PDFs? We're hoping that we don't have to. We are looking to try and see if we can make a PDF importer. We're looking to have regions for slide out menus. At the moment, we don't have the configuration yet, but it's coming. This talk was just probably one week too soon to be able to minimize the menus, to have them in a sliding menu so they can come in and out. So there's a nice user experience around those, and just have more components so that services don't really have the excuse to use PDFs, because it's really nice to style a PDF. It's really easy to do, but it's also really easy to do this if they've got the right tools. So we're getting there. We just need a bit more time and money. So let's do a PDF importer demo with Rue, and we'll show you what we want to do.
Hello. So yeah, I knew someone was going to ask about whether it was possible to import PDFs, because people always do. We've had that so many times when we've been working on this, and every time someone's asked, it's, we've had to disappoint them. Going, no, that's not really what it does. It's about building publications rather than pulling them into your site. But no one likes disappointing people, so I thought I'd have a crack at it and see if it's even possible. So I built a little proof of concept, which I'm going to show you now. Bear in mind, this is very proof of concept. It's not a finished thing. It's just to prove if we could even do anything like this, and to figure out what work's going to be required to make it into something we can actually give to people and be useful. So this is a LocalGov 3 site. It's got no content in it, as you can see. What I'm going to put into it is this PDF here, which was generously donated by Michael. So yeah, that's what's in it at the moment. I'll go and import the thing. So there is a module for it. It's very work in progress. It's there on our GitHub if you would like to go and try it out. But I'm going to show you what it does. So it adds this menu option here called import publication. And I'll go and choose that PDF and import it. So what it does is it basically sucks all the content that it can find out of the PDF and puts it in a publication page node. And the thing to bear in mind about PDFs, and this is one of the things I've learned about them while making this thing, is they're a very visual format. They don't necessarily have a good structure, and that means that we can't necessarily bring in a lot of the stuff that you'd expect to be there, like headings and paragraphs and page breaks like that. So all the content's here. It's mostly in the right order, and if you think I'm being a bit mad saying it could appear in the wrong order, yeah, some of it was definitely appearing in the wrong order. PDF doesn't care what order the content's in it. So yeah, all the content's there. What we'd like to do as the next step for this is basically add a step between uploading the PDF and creating the node that you see here, basically to give people the chance to go in and say stuff like, this should be a title, I want a page break here, I want a paragraph break here, stuff like that. So we're thinking the next step for this is basically to give people the chance to, edit it, add that edit step, and then, we'll export it into something better, which will probably be multiple pages and, have the PDF that you uploaded attached to the cover and stuff like that. But yeah, that's in progress. Yeah, it's out there if you want to give it a try, but this is what it does. Yeah, that's everything from me.
Can I just chip in there for a second? So
I was hoping you might.
This is a team sport. We are 40 whatever councils. I don't know how many here right now, but we talked in previous sessions about people saying what they're doing in Slack, and then other councils being able to get involved and say, "Oh, I would like a piece of that as well." And some of you might know, and I think Ben's on this call from Essex. I'm doing some work with Essex right now, and we've looked at this and a few other things that Chicken and Hammersmith and Fulham have been doing, and have said, we absolutely want a piece of that. So what we've agreed, and is shortly going to happen, is a bit of a co-funding arrangement between our two councils, so Essex and Hammersmith and Fulham, where we put in 30 days of time to a few projects that we want to get done together. And the aim with those is that as much of this as relevant gets contributed back to LocalGov Drupal. So this is in addition to Essex's membership fee. It is also paying. We're putting some money on top of that, which is, thanks, Ben, for your support of this. But what we think it will do in part is help with that editing step in HTML publications. I don't think it'll crack it. It's a big job, but I think it will push it to the next phase. So we've got something that we can actually work with. Just mentioning the other couple of things that we're gonna co-fund. Many of you will have seen in Hammersmith and Fulham's subsites. There's two things special about Hammersmith and Fulham subsites. First is you can put any page in them, other than just subsite pages. You can also run menus on them. I think this is a brilliant innovation. It's definitely coming to LocalGov Drupal for everyone, because it's vital, and we're helping pay for that. Second is events. The events stuff as it's structured right now. I'm sorry, I'm taking over a little bit. I'll finish in a second. The way events are structured right now is events landing page plus events. You're not able to set up second events landing page for fostering or for events in parks or sports things or anything like that. And you're not able to choose the pages that events appear on. So we're also going to be doing some work on that. So it's basically three things. We think at LocalGov Drupal and in Essex that co-funding arrangements of this kind are going to become the norm within LocalGov Drupal. So if you want to find out more about that, just ask. If you want to join one to get something done, please shout, because I think we're all spending money independently on things, and we really don't need to do that when it comes to web publishing. We can do work together, agencies and councils of different kinds can work together. I mean, really, the boundaries in this project, well, there aren't any, because you've had so many people working with you. So if you're interested in that, if there's an itch you've always wanted to scratch and we've not talked about it today, please come and talk to me or one of the LocalGov Drupal team, and we'll do our best to make it happen. There's one other example, I don't know if they're here, elections. I've talked about it a couple of times. That's a co-funded project between the two Cumbria councils. We'll have that before the next election. Hopefully it's next year, not next week. We'll see. But that's enough from me. Thanks for letting me speak. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Will. That's pretty much the message we want to get across with this anyway, isn't it? So I think we might have answered all the questions in the chat. Does anyone have any more or anything else they'd like to talk about? I feel like it was a bit of a rush through, but that's where we are. Alpha phase. So much more to come. Word docs. Yeah, we should be able to. Oh, go for it, Ryan.
Oh yeah, no, go on.
Word docs. I'm pretty certain that Word docs should be able to go through just as well as PDFs. If not, just save that Word doc as a PDF and fire it off. You probably get pretty good results because at least Word has got more of a structure on how to do headings and things. So even if you get to that stage of, the document's pretty good, but it hasn't gone to a graphic designer to be styled and put through things, it should do perfect. So yeah, a tagged PDF, yeah.
And to be fair, we could make that importer page that I showed you a bit more generic and, detect what you're actually uploading and do different things. No reason why we can't do that.
Yeah. At the moment, it imports into the main body field, but
no, it doesn't.
Have you done it already? Oh,
no, it's always done this. It creates a paragraph and puts it on the paragraph.
Oh, into the paragraph. Yeah, no, sorry, I meant like generally paragraphs. It imports into the right paragraph. So one of the things we'd like to make it so it imports into all the new fancy paragraphs we've got, so we can put things straight into the right, image with text paragraph or into the right places. So that importer allows you to put them all into the right places, but that depends on how deep all these pockets go, really. This, as Will says, this is a bit of a never-ending task that could make something wonderful.
There's also another question about support for CK Editor 5.
Oh, that's
when are we hoping to add support for CK Editor 5?
Yeah, that's. I think there's a little bug with something for.
The bug is that the module as it stands has a dependency on another module that has a dependency on CK Editor 4. It doesn't actually use it, it just turns it on. We want to improve it so it doesn't turn that on and you don't have to go and turn it off. But if you install the module as is, you are pretty free to just ignore CK Editor 4. But yeah, we will get there. It's on our list.
I can see there's a few other questions. Okay, go on, Finn. Finish this out. What are the 1.0.0 release blockers?
I think there's about 4 issues in the queue that I have frantically tried to do this week and haven't made it. It's only Tuesday. Sorting out some front end things, so hiding and closing the navigations, making sure it's okay on mobile, that type of thing. And a few more tests, functional tests, if anyone's got time to write some of those. And I think that's pretty much hiding the on-page menu, so having an option to turn that off if you don't want it. They're pretty much the blockers. But otherwise, we're pretty close. And yeah. And then it's just doing all the new, the like extending further after that.
Okay, thank you. I can see another question from Ben Hill-Jones. Looks great. Is it possible to add the publications into the section navigation? Just wondered how a user gets back to, say, the council strategy section, if that's the route they took. And also, is it possible to see how it looks on mobile? Just wondering what happens to the content and the section page menus on mobile. So with the first question you asked, Ben. We've been going back and forth on on those service links. I think you were part of those conversations originally. I think we've put them to the side for now, because there are different opinions on that. I think if we do link publications back to some kind of service tag, if you will, then that link should take them to like a document store for all the other documents related to that service area, if you will. So if you've got like a council tax section, which everyone will do, if you click on the service link, then you'll see all the other documents related to council tax. But then we know, as you just said, that some people may want to go back to the council tax service landing page, for example. So it is something, as I said, we've just put to the side for now, just so we can concentrate on getting the publication out there, the template out there, and then build on that moving forward. And in terms of mobile, we haven't done anything with the side navigation just yet on mobile. So at the moment, it will just appear first on the page and then the content underneath. Yeah, I can't remember what we were going to do with that, if we were going to close it or just leave it, because of the sticky menu thing, and also being able to close it to the side. So we've concentrated more on desktop for now than what we are going to do on mobile. Yeah, I can see Sam, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about so I've been sort of looking at this and thinking initially, is this about turning publications or PDFs into like I was thinking of it as a kind of content editor, thinking about content pages and thinking, in our team there'd be quite a lot of situations where we would say, this PDF is really long, we don't really want the whole thing to be on the website. Is this this tool that you've been working on, is this specifically for documents that aren't supposed to be edited, or is it a situation where if you had the right kind of rules in place and things, you could use it? Like, I'm just trying to work out, is it like, if you were working with content editors, you probably need a bunch of content rules for when to use this, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, no, I see the point you're making. So from my point of view, and if you heard me, if you were on the session yesterday about accessibility, I think, most people have heard me say that I'm hell-bent on just reducing the amount of PDFs we publish on the website for the reasons that Justine mentioned earlier. From my point of view, I was more looking at this template as something to use moving forward. So to just discourage people from publishing content in PDFs, whether it was something, I say is grand, but as big as like strategies and plans, but also just those random one-page documents that just get sent through. Like I've had one sent through today, and I'm like, I could just put this on a service page. It doesn't even need a publication template. But
you could actually, if you put it into a WYSIWYG editor, you could actually just use that template as a way to quickly turn a PDF into a web page and then copy it into
exactly. And that's always been my thinking. But as you've seen today, a lot of people are interested in the importer stuff. I know that, I think is it Devon? I think Devon have really led the way in this, and they've manually turned around 200 PDFs into online content, whether it's using their own publication template. I'm not sure what CMS they use, or just using other features on their website. So I do think it comes down to each individual council's approach and how they want to manage PDFs moving forward. But for me, I mean, the publications template is only one side of it, depending on the actual PDF itself. So again, thinking more about strategy documents, you could use a subsite to do it and make it look more fancy, in terms of just using a subsite, given the document or the publication, if you will, the PDF thing, like not a separate, but a different look and feel from the website, be able to add images around it. So yeah, I think as always with these things, it does come down to it depends, but I do think it just depends on the approach that each council wants to take. But I'm more than willing to share our approach and how we deal with it moving forward to help others make their own decision.
It might be nice to have a bit more of a conversation across councils about that as a like,
yeah,
try to set up, like have a group, like a discussion cross council about that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I mean, with just thinking about it a bit more in terms of like what I said earlier, in where you can add from the publications landing page, where you can add multiple HTML pages or multiple publications, and I mentioned Easy Read. Like again, some councils may want to keep their Easy Read in a PDF. But from my point of view, like on our existing website, we've done Easy Read on a web page, and we got that idea from Bracknell Forest, who have got like Easy Read pages for some of their service areas. So for us, moving forward, we're looking to modify the media with text component so that you can increase the font size of the text to make it bigger when you are doing an Easy Read, like an Easy Read page or an Easy Read publication, and therefore not need to have the PDF involved. And just keeping with that ethos and mindset that we want to publish as much as we can into HTML. Oh, I can see Lizzie's just made a comment around that.
Easy Read template sounds amazing.
I can. Sorry, I can see if we can get Webcal to share our Easy Read template. Okay, can't see why we can't do that. Awesome, thank you.
So Stella's come up in the chat with some good comments about the fact that you can import PDFs into Word documents. So that could be like a really low cost first step for us for like building on the importer. So if we can import the Word doc, which was a PDF, we're going backwards, which was a PDF, and in the Word doc you've sorted all the styling out with Words tools. That could be a really quick way of getting all the headings and all the things that you need into the publication template. So it could be a interim step towards building this big wonderful PDF importer that we might be, maybe when we're done we don't need it because people are just putting their content in better places. But anyone got any other questions? I feel like Karen.
Oh yeah, no, there's another question around that, but doing the reverse. So printing the publication as a PDF, which I think there is the option to do that. I think obviously the main work we'd need to do is obviously because it would turn it into a PDF. If you just wanted to save it as a PDF, then obviously we'd need to put all of the headings back into it as well. But definitely the option to print is there.
Yeah. So I replied to that comment in the thread and just put a link to an example of a site that we did look back in the day as some of the work. Agile Collective did a site for COPS UK, and the whole handbook is HTML, but it generates the PDF in line with the styling that comes from the website as well. So some of the specifics around actually the styling for the headings and the typography and stuff, you need a separate style sheet for that. So there's some complexity there, but it's totally possible, it's totally doable. And there is still a use case for that. I often want to just download something if I'm going to go on a train or traveling or whatever. I just want some documents that I know that I don't need to be online to access. And so just want to kind of download a bunch of things off the website, which I can read, read your council constitution on my way to Spain, for example.
Nothing else to read. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's in the backlog. It is there. We we'll get to it. Somebody help. I don't mean that in a please help kind of way. Like, come help us. Anyone got any more questions? I think we've answered there's a lot. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been great to kind of have a
And
conversation.
it keeps jumping. As I'm scrolling down, it keeps
How do
jumping
people
back
get
up. It's really
involved?
hard. It's really hard.
I have a bunch of links for getting involved, Aaron. To contribute, there is the GitHub channel, and we can try it out. It's a little bit late, so please give me a day to update the platform, because it's a little bit we've got better things, but there is a test site that we are hosting, which you can use, and you can find the login details for that in Slack. You can log in as a whole bunch of different editors, and the it's open for everyone, so don't abuse it. But yeah, yes, and I think it's feature publications on Slack, or maybe it's group, I don't know anymore. But yeah, please come along, and our working groups are every other Thursday, and it's not this week, it's next week.
No, it's this week.
Oh,
We
it's
need to
this
talk
week.
if we're going to do it. Yeah,
Okay.
because we've got our session at 4 o'clock as well. So yeah. I
Oh,
need
so
to
it
send
will
out a
be
message.
a while away. We'll rechange it. But yeah, come and find us in Slack, and we'll have a conversation about when the working group is, and come along. But yeah.
But yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone else who's been involved in the group. So Finn, Maria, James, Michael, David from Oxfordshire in the beginning, and Andy from Brighton as well, because he did put a lot of pressure on us not to mess up books for everyone else who was using books, which was really good. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's been involved so far.
Yeah, and John, who's not here, but John Bloomfield has done quite a lot of this work, so special nod to him as well for our honorary check-in.
Okay, I think we're done.
We're done.
Please feel free to put fanfares and other things on the screen. I'm delighted about this. I think it's essential. I'm sorry it got bumped for microsites. I apologize.
It's all right. Microsites is pretty special.
It is, but this is equally special, and it made my heart go a little bit seeing an HTML Publications logo appear in LocalGov Drupal. I've seen that many times on GovUK. So thank you for doing that. As we've said before, this is a team sport. If you want to get involved in this, there's some details. If you want to get involved in something else, if you want to co-fund something else or build something else, we'd love to hear from you. We've got a never-ending list of things to build. This is never going to stop. I mean, that's good, right? We're going to be ever sort of improving. So please do get involved with that. If you want to know how to start building in your council, you don't yet, or get in a relationship with your supplier where you build and contribute more often, please talk to us about that. We can totally help with that too. Thanks everyone for the session. We hope you found it useful. Thanks also to our sponsor for this week, Home Connections, and to all of our suppliers and councils who put money in, without whom we would not be here. Please leave us some feedback. I think you might be sent an email. I can't remember. There are also lots of other events in the chat. I've posted links to them. There's some stuff related to this. I think, Ryan, you're up again for like a third. So is that tomorrow? It's Thursday for a third event.
Thursday.
Thank you for that. There's a couple of other really good things. I mean, all of it's good. Upgrading Drupal 10 is later today. We've got accessible experiences, contribution tomorrow, microsites Thursday, accessibility Thursday, you guys on Thursday. And then we've got a piece around collaboration and how you might want to get involved in that and why it works for Essex, why it works for Cumbria. So please come along to all of those. We'll see you again shortly. If you like LocalGov Drupal Week as a format, tell us about that too. I think it really works. Tell us what you think. Have a good rest of the day.